OpenFlow has been around for a few years now. How has HP participated in the evolution of OpenFlow and kind of demonstrating leadership?
HP's been involved in OpenFlow from the beginning. We've worked tightly with Stanford University over the years to encourage the growth of the OpenFlow protocol. We're part of the ONF body, which allows us to build the OpenFlow standard. We have people sitting on the board, and part of that is allowing us to OpenFlow enable our provision switches.
And how is OpenFlow really kind of changing the way networking works within the enterprise?
It's changing the way networking works in the enterprise by allowing to be very scalable and very agile. So instead of us going to make changes in the static network, the networks can become dynamic now, and based on applications, based on users, based on protocols, we can make dynamic changes to the network with OpenFlow protocols, because everything's based on a flow now, not based on layer 2, layer 3 routing protocols to move stuff through the network. It's from point A to point B with flows. So it makes it very dynamic. We can set a policy that in a traditional network, if we set a policy, we'd have to touch multiple switches. So let's say we have a 1,000 switch network. I would have to add policy like let's say an ACL, I'd have to touch 1,000 switches. With an OpenFlow controlled network now, I can set policy on my controller, and it's going to push policy out to all the switches. And it doesn't even have to push it to the switches. Even more, it can if we can have some reactive or proactive, so I can push some policies out to the switches in the forwarding tables, or I can leave it up in the controller. Whereas a packet comes in, if it doesn't identify that packet, I can push it up to the controller, and based on that packet type at the controller, we can make a decision.
So this really makes networking an application rather than it being kind of a connected series of appliances.
That's correct. It gives you the dynamicy. It becomes it follows right into our Flex network architecture. It's very open because we're using OpenFlow as an open protocols, right? Through OpenFlow, we have open APIs from the controller northbound. We have OpenFlow southbound, right? Becomes very scalable now because we don't have to touch every switch in the network. It's very secure because everything's based on a flow. It's very agile because we can detect changes in the network and based on flows, and it's a consistent experience now for the user.